before we get started, our today's theme is bias in AI. Can you tell me how many types of biases are there in AI? The two main types. Anyone? Subbu?
Is that related to technical stuff in bias and variance kind of?
Variance? Closer. Namita, anything?
That people will lose their job because of AI, which will
No.
hardly happen, especially my job cannot be automated. So
Actually, there are two main types of biases in AI. One is algorithmic bias. When we are programming or when we are running the LLMs, the large language models, the way we program, we can introduce a bias in there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then there is a second type of bias, which is called as representation bias. For example, if you look at the BMI data in US, if we use that data for everyone, it will actually caters to only North American people. It doesn't caters to the Asian people. So when we use that data will have a bias in it.
So what's that?
Can someone mute Peter?
I'm just gonna run.
We'll now move on to our next section of the meeting. Our first section is going to be AI News Flash, and that's going to be done by Mahan. Mahan.
Perfect, thank you. There you go. Can anybody see this?
Oh, I think it's true. We shared it full screen.
It's true. Yeah, sure.
I think it's.
Pardon the technical difficulty. Thank you so much. So I'm going to present three major news that happened in the last week. The first one, I'm going to talk about a study conducted by Microsoft Research, collaborating with various American universities, and that found that OpenAI and ChatGPT-4 model is more subject to manipulation. That's more compared to the ChatGPT 3.5. So the research paper indicate that the ChatGPT-4 is more likely to follow misleading information, increasing the risk of user provoking and personal detail. Despite this finding, the study also highlighted that ChatGPT-4 scored higher in trustworthiness than ChatGPT 3.5. Keeping in mind that Microsoft, a key investor in OpenAI, has integrated ChatGPT-4 into several its software products, including Windows 11. So that's for your information. All right. I want to talk about Baidu. Baidu is a major Chinese tech company. It has launched a new AI tool called Ernie 4. This tool can quickly create a content like ads or videos. So that at the recent event, Baidu CEO Robin Li showed how RNI4 can understand and respond to the complex user request. This new tool is Baidu answer to other popular AI tools from companies like OpenAI, that we all know ChatGPT is one of them, and also Meta. With RNI4, Baidu hopes to make a big splash in the world of AI and offer a users powerful yet easy to use tool for various tasks. And the last one is about Amazon has joined force with MIT to research the influence of robots and AI on employment. While robots are becoming more relevant in industries, this study aimed to understand the people's view on this shift. Despite having over 750,000 robots, Amazon has hired hundreds of thousands of workers in last 10 years. The research will focus on how human and robots can work together effectively, and the findings are crucial as they could shed a light on how companies can incorporate technology without citing human workers. They might reveal the efficiency of robot only operation in setting like warehouses. So they were the last 3 news that I have for last week. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Marlon. We'll now move on to our next thing, which is going to be the company profile. The company profile is going to be done by Shantanu. Shantanu, it's all you.
Hello, everyone. So I am a person of good habits, and recently I developed a new one, and that is reading research papers. So even though these are 15 to 20 pages long, but they have some of the finest wisdom from some of the finest mind. Now, even though I may look smart, but I am clearly not. And often at time, I do not understand what is written on these paper. And that is where Umata.ai comes into the picture. One of the key feature about it is that it has natural language processing capabilities. This means it can understand and respond to human language just like we have a natural conversation. So whether you have to analyze market trends or medical data or even customer feedback, Umata AI brings it all together, making it easier to understand and to make sense of it all. So I will quickly share my screen and show you Umata.ai. So this was one of the article I was going through, and I clearly did not understand much. So I wrote a question and I asked Umata.ai that if you could please explain this question to me. I uploaded the PDF, and when I asked the answer, it quickly gave me a version of it. The best part of it is that it gives me pages number. So from which page it has taken that answer, I can directly go to that page. However, I still do not understand much. So I will ask it to make it simpler. And it will understand and it will make this text simple for me so that I can simply understand it. I can even ask it to make me understand it in 50 words, and it will reduce the answer to just 50 words. And this is free to use. Like, I am the flag bearer of free stuff. So with tools like this, and if you have a curious mind, I believe sky is the limit. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Shantanu. We'll now move on to our prepared speeches. We have 2 prepared speeches. Our first prepared speech is by Sheena. Sheena's evaluator is Vijaya. Vijaya, can you share the purpose of Sheena's speech? Vijaya?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay. Sheena's speech title is From Pixels to Possibilities. The AI transformation. She is giving us an icebreaker from dynamic leadership path for, it says 5 to 6 minutes. Maybe she wants additional minute. Speech introduction. Ever wondered how AI is revolutionizing the creative world? Fresh from Adobe Max 2023 Insights. Here is a creative at the heart of this transformation. Please welcome our speaker, Sheena, embracing and leading us into the future. Please welcome Sheena.
Thank you so much, Vijaya. Sheena, from pixels to possibilities, the AI transformation. From pixels to possibilities, the AI transformation. Sheena.
Thank you. Gen AI generated 15 billion images in 1 year, a feat that took photographers 115 years to achieve. When I first read this headline, I paused. As a creative, this wasn't just another tech update. It was a revelation that hit close to home. A sheer magnitude of the statistic wasn't just overwhelming. It was deeply personal. It signaled a momentum shift in our world, the creative industry. And it might be yours too. Let's take a look. So at the Adobe Max 2023 conference, an annual gathering where creatives from around the world witnessed the latest innovation in design and technology. I was very excited and apprehensive. So I attended the event virtually and eager to see what's the future unfold and what this means to my craft and my passion. So I recall working on this really intricate illustration for a digital financial brand, Libum. The piece was really highly designed and tried to capture the essence of modern finance. It took us weeks back and forward working with clients, trying to find the perfect styles for the illustration. And look at what's new on the demos show up in Adobe. So what you're seeing here is just with a few text prompts, and now we can create vector graphic. What it means is not just images. You can scale things up to unlimited. You can adjust the corner, anything you want. You can create icons, scenes, patterns, things that takes us years to perfect. But does it mean that it's gonna take over us? But right now, it's a good starting point. We need to modify it, get things started. But this is something huge. This is only the first beta version. It's not even integrated in the actual software. This is really eye-opening. And here, let's go to another example. Editing brand videos was a really complex process. Do you remember when you wish you could simply delete all the ums and ahs from our speech? So think about it. Technically, traditionally, it takes an editor hours and hours. Zoom into the waveform that you have, find out where you make these mistakes, and delete them one by one. That's how it was done traditionally. And now, let's see if the audio works.
It really blew my mind because...
You hear that? Those ums, the uhs. Well, as of today's beta, check it out. We have a new filler word filter, y'all. Okay, and now check it. Delete all, bye y'all.
So what you saw just now is now they have this text editing. On the left side, it transcribes your video. And all you need to say is delete and almost like you're editing a Word doc. Say, hey, I don't like every time I say delete. That's the new era that we're in. And let's switch to something else. In one project, after designing the concept for a presentation for a brand, for a live event. So this is one of the concepts that we present. But then I was like, well, we're missing a speaker in the scene. Don't we? It's kind of sad. We're presented design, nobody's listening. So traditionally, like this, it takes us a long time to blend in images, adding things, extending background. But with AI, now you have something called generative fill. You can ask exactly what you want to put on, and this is professionally ready. And for example, here we put a speaker on, but there's no audience. And here we go. So it's probably not as one click. There was a lot of editing, but before this is really time consuming and impossible to do in a short period of time. Yet out of this, like in the organization I work for, out of 60 creatives, only 2 people actually use this generative fill since it released. So despite this advancement, according to the McKinsey report, highlighted a glaring gap. While many recognize the potential of AI, only a fraction are integrating it into their work. So this isn't just about staying updated. It's really being ready to prepare for the future that's already here. I want to look at this statistic a little bit. 90% of market and sales leaders believe that the organization should have used AI than they are right now. But then only 60% of them never really used or implement any AI or machine learning in such activities. So this is just not just a creative industry. It's all across all the sectors, from healthcare to finance, whatever industry you are. We are witnessing a digital transformation powered by AI, and we really stand at crossroads. So whether you're a designer, a doctor, data analyst, product manager, this message is clear. The future isn't waiting for us, it's here, and we really need to rise to the occasion. Back to you.
That is one reason we started this club, because we didn't want it to be left behind. Everyone, please take a minute to give feedback to Sheena in private chat. Timer, please give me a minute.
Pounds. 220 pounds.
You don't have to pounds.
220 pounds.
That's all.
Genius.
Yeah.
Used to be 400.
No, you look good.
Jamal was just talking about the earthquake we were witnessing here.
The minute is finished.
Thank you so much. Our next speaker is going to be Mahan. His evaluator is going to be Patrice. Patrice, can you share the purpose of Mahan's speech?
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster Apogee. Mahan will be speaking about Beyond Bias, Clarity in the AI-Driven Digital Age. This is part of understanding your presentation or your communication style as part of the presentation mastery pathway, and it will be 5 to 7 minutes. If you've ever doubted the authenticity of online content in this age of advanced technology, navigating a world blurred by deepfakes and AI biases, Mahan will unveil the profound impact and challenges of this digital evolution.
Thank you so much, Patrice. Mahan, Beyond Bias, Clarity in the AI-Driven Digital Age. Mahan, Beyond Bias, Clarity in the AI-Driven Digital Age.
Thank you so much. So I try not to move much, so I stay here. Before we delve into the topic today, I want to start with asking the question, how many of us witnessed or watched a movie or piece of information online or in social media, and all of a sudden something click in your head, wait a second, it might not be an authentic or it might be a fake. Please raise your hand.
I see every day.
Perfect. All right. Perhaps we have seen the video where Jordan Peele, if you know this person, impersonate Barack Obama, highlighting the very real danger of deepfake. This technology is advanced at alarming rate, and with concern that is raising with this advancement. Deepfake, named after deep learning AI algorithm that power them, have gained popularity for their ability to superimpose famous faces into others, sometimes in an inappropriate way. The creation process is intricate. By feeding real audio or video of the person into software, pattern in speech and movement are recognized, introducing a new element like different face or voices. Craft the deepfake. Why current program often need human intervention to function, but this is going to change very soon. Here are some examples that people can use your input image, and you have, let's say, unmodified target sequence, and as a result of this combination, you get this deepfake image or video that you can see here. And the input can be any images, can be your own face or any other celebrities that you choose. But it's not just about impersonating celebrities. Research at Cambridge University has developed software that can produce facial features, weather pattern, and even blooming of flowers. The capability of deepfake are expanding, and with this our concern is going to rise too. Let's talk about bias in algorithm. As AI system curate or digital experience, biases can inevitably be introduced. These biases can amplify certain narrative while sidelining others, influencing not just our buying habits, but also brief an understanding of global events. The consequence of AI-driven narrative, especially when combined with deepfake and biases, can be far-reaching. Misinformation described by some of the fake news and stories can influence public opinion, shape the political landscape, and escalate the tension. The challenge. Deepfake are notoriously hard to detect. We all know that. Why there are no known case for deepfakes being used for fraud or misinformation, the potential danger is very clear. In a world where creating fake images is becoming easier, even genuine evidence can be dismissed. However, efforts are underway to tackle this issue. The U.S. Department of Defense, along with other researchers, is actively developing countermeasure to detect and neutralize the impact of the deepfake. But let's not paint a dark image here. So AI and deepfake has positive implication too. For example, there's an AI tool that is working with the sound and helping the people who have a problem with voice impression. They can go ahead and use these tools, and that tool going to help them to improve their listening. And on a lighter note, some are even using this technology to reimagine movies with Nicolas Cage in the lead role. So as you can see, you can collage any faces we want on. And let's go think about our responsibility. As we navigate the digital age, is crucial for each of us to embrace our role. We must be proactive in seeking our authentic sources, question the content we consume, and advocating for transparency in AI-driven platforms. Let's take these collective steps and more informed and genuine and unbiased digital future. Together, we can shape the digital realm that reflect and share the value of aspiration. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mahan. Everyone, please take a minute to give feedback to Mahan in private chat. Timer, please give me a minute.
The minute is completed.
Thank you so much, Nadine. We'll now move on to our exciting section of the meeting, table topics, and it will led by Muskan. Muskan, it's all you.
Thank you, Abhijit. So before we begin, I would like to request all our guests who are interested to be a part of the table topics to turn their videos on so I can call your name up and ask you a question. Okay, I think we can proceed now. So AI bias. Now, Abhijit mentioned that there are different parts of AI and there's bias in different parts of AI, like data bias, algorithm bias, and then there is the fairness and equity bias, like from that point of view, how a bias is handled. So we are going to concentrate our questions on that, how AI bias is impacting fairness and equity in the society. So let me ask the first question. So I'm going to ask this to Subhashri. Yeah, okay. So here it is. The question for you is, what are your thoughts on the concept of AI bias and why is it important in today's world?
Sorry, could you repeat it?
Sure. So what are your thoughts on the concept of AI bias in society and fairness, and why is it important in today's world?
Yeah, so the main importance of bias, right? It kind of perpetuates the uh, already ingrained biases and stereotypes that we carry. And becomes a vicious cycle because when we have to eradicate it from ourselves, the decisions that we made are also being controlled by the systems. So, for example, right, like if you take generative AI, where you give a prompt and you ask it to generate an image, and let's say I say a CEO, and if it immediately pops out an image of a white male to be the CEO, then again it reiterates the fact that probably women are not part of being in the higher upper management, and so on and so forth. So since AI systems are more and more trained on the data or the systemic biases that has been existing so on, it tends to further just breed that. So it's high time that we kind of bring in inclusion, and that's where it's more important that the people who develop these systems, people who use these systems are conscious enough, and it has wider representation. So people who make decisions, it should have the committee to be like, represent people of different races, different ethnicities, different genders. And that's when the data that it is trained on, it learns, also becomes bias free. Yeah, thanks.
That was an amazing answer, Subhashri, and you rightly captured the importance of why the bias in the society created by AI systems should be minimized, and it should promote less discrimination and help people understand that. So I think you correctly encapsulated that. Moving on to the next question. The next question is, share a personal experience or observation related to AI bias, whether positive or negative, and explain what lessons can be drawn from it. I'm going to ask this question to Atul.
Yeah. So wait, you said to give an example of AI bias, like so far that I've realized, like within any sort of system, right? That's kind of the question.
Sorry?
The question is that, like, basically name some sort of example in which AI bias like affects, say, some sort of machine or whatever, or any sort of like algorithm or whatever. Right? That's the question, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I guess like if you think about like just the early stages of when ChatGPT was released or publicized, right, or like where people could use it, right? Uh, well, it's inherently all data that we've trained on because it's all collected by humans or it's all generated by humans. Humans are biased inherently. So you have this large language model that's trained on biased data. And no matter like if you were to put some sort of political sort of prompt to it, it's obviously going to lean towards what has the most say data to train on, right? So if it's a more liberal point of view, or say in a specific particular political topic, if there's some sort of political view that's, especially since a liberal point of view is more common, right? You'll tend to see more of the responses lean toward more of a liberal angle towards it, right? And that's what you see with a lot of these large language models, right? You'll see a lot of, especially with the political, it could be anything, right? Just because what is it? Subhashri was talking like this vicious cycle, right? Of how we're humans, we're giving data to this model, and we're like, oh, why isn't it giving like a fair decision or a relatively fair output, right? And then it's like retraining on that. It's like it just circulates on its own, right? So if you look at any sort of large language model, like it's going to give something that's unfair or something that's relatively prejudiced, right? But I guess like towards that, like I know like I've kind of like sidestepped the question a little bit and kind of given a general response, right? But I guess a bigger question that I kind of want to ask is like what are some ways that you think that bias could be, like how would we like remove bias, or what it's like an idea or some sort of like that's a very big question, very open question, right? But what are ways that you would possibly go about dealing with, say, not eliminating bias, but almost mitigating it or like reducing it, right? I guess this is open to anyone that wants to join in on this.
That is a good, I love your answer and how you gave multiple examples to, go through that. Thank you, Atul. And thanks for the open question that you mentioned in the end. Okay. Moving on to the next question. This is more of a, wait, let me just decide which one to pick. Okay. Let me pick a more advanced question and, more specific. So this question is that it says, some argue that AI systems should be designed to be intentionally biased in certain situations. For for example, medical diagnosis, to prioritize certain groups. What is your opinion on this matter? Maybe something along the lines of catching a particular disease faster in a particular stage or a certain group. So something around that. And I would ask this question to Subbu.
Maybe I can pick up the COVID scenario because this is highly biased information which is running all throughout the world. Some say it is valuable, some say it is invaluable, and some say it leads to heart attack. And I lost one of my best friend recently because of heart attack. And he is a healthy person. I don't know whether it is because of COVID or not. So given to this point, especially in the medical field, people opinion does matter, but not to an extent that we can ignore those who are extensively involved in and their career in the studies. So I see a lot of fake news came around who are not even doctors or physicists or pharmacists who are really involved in these particular matter. Their opinion was like completely checked out by, like, I don't know what to call others, but they totally took a chance that they are not even giving valid response. So we should honor and respect all those pharmacists who extensively, what do you say, they invested all their time, energy, and effort, sacrificing their family time to give something to this world to make it a better place, but they couldn't win against the other side of the story. So there are multiple things, and this literally makes me like feel bad. I don't know, but yeah, there is this bias which ran around all throughout the time, and especially from India, I heard like much more news. Even though the vaccines were developed indigenously by Indian scientists back in India, it was like totally checked out that it is not a valid vaccine at all, which doesn't. We should respect everyone equally, and we should evaluate equally on the same ground, on the same platform. Great.
Thank you, Subbu. And yes, it is truly this topic is very ambiguous. And yes, I think you truly captured that. Thank you for that. Do we still have time for another question?
Yes, one question.
Okay, so this is the last question. And okay, now let's apply it. Let's make an AI system together and make sure that there's no AI bias. So the setting is that imagine you're in charge of developing an AI system for a hiring process. How would you ensure that the AI system does not exhibit bias in the selection of candidates? I'm going to ask this to Nishant.
Thanks, Ms. Khan. I think to develop a fair AI system which does not discriminate based on the candidates, we have to again look back to the two biases. So one is data and one is algorithm. And we can handle biases in both of the cases. So first, we need to ensure the data we have is representative of all the people in the world we want to hire from the candidate pool. And also the algorithms which screens the candidate doesn't introduces any biases in the results. So in theory, it's easy to say, but in practice, it's not that easy to implement. I understand because of the amount of data you have and the way you are developing your algorithm. And the culmination of both the data and the algorithm can result in two things. Either it can introduce more bias, so it increases the bias, or it could be that it decreases the bias when combined. For example, your data is biased on one side and your algorithm pulls the bias to the other side. With the combination of both, we can maybe hopefully achieve a less biased result or system at the end, which can give us more accurate or fair results. But I think building a completely unbiased system is not possible because human society in itself is biased. But we can always ensure to reduce it as much as we can.
Thank you for your answer. And as you correctly pointed out, to create a fair AI system, you need to have checks from the beginning, that is from your data, have unbiased data, and the whole flow starts from there. Thank you for your answer. Do we still have time for another question?
No, we're out of time.
Okay. Hope the guests had fun in this table topic session. On to you, Abhijit.
Thank you so much. And those questions are making me think here everyone wanted to answer those questions. So thank you. We'll now move on to our next section of the meeting. We'll now move on to evaluations. Let me call upon our general evaluator, Noor. It's all you, sir.
Thank you, presiding officer. Greetings, fellow humans and AI people who are in there. My role today as general evaluator is to facilitate this session of the meeting. And without any further ado, I will jump to inviting Toastmaster Vijay Jayaraman to evaluate Toastmaster Sheena 2.
You're on mute. We cannot hear you, Vijaya.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, General Evaluator. Oh, it's my pleasure to evaluate Sheena's speech today. It was very effective and educational speech. I'm not from an AA background, but I could understand it a little bit. But from the speaker's perspective, this title drew me, From Pixel to Possibilities. I'm going back to the pixel that was, in cell phones or in TV. From there, now where have we come? You have taken us in a very, very step-by-step process. And today, your hand gestures were great. You stood in front of the electron. Your eye contacts, I could still see from online that you were looking at the audience. The organization of speech was very, very, very good, very well structured, with a beginning, middle, and end. Your voice modulation was fabulous. One or two things that I would like you to take it home is move around a little bit. You are just standing in front of the lectern. If you can step on this side when you're talking, touching one subject and one topic and the other way, that will be good. So I thought initially you were speaking fast, but then you slowed down immediately. I could sense that also. Maybe it is your icebreaker, but for being an icebreaker for the first time, I think you're a very good speaker. You have that innate capability to present yourself, your topic, your thoughts to the audience. Then the images that you brought, that captivated me. 15 billion images in 1 year. That was amazing to even see it. And the phrases that you used, some of the phrases that attracted me was excited and apprehensive, opposites, but still you brought it up. Intrinsic and illustration, that was another one. The third one is we are in the crossroads. Yes, these things made me think about your topic. The last but not least is the future isn't here for us. And we need to rise to the occasion. That is always the case. Every time when there is a challenge, we have to get on board. I think you emphasized the point very well. You did an excellent job. Thank you very much. Back to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Vijaya. Thank you for the uplifting evaluation. I hope the speaker will take points on that. And coming up next is Patrice Hall to evaluate the son of the Sultan, Mahan.
Mahan, what a fascinating topic you brought up, and congrats on doing 2 speeches in one meeting. That is a lot. I want to talk about 3 things that you excelled at, a couple things to work on, and 1 thing that you could do to really challenge yourself. I love that you started off by asking the audience about what we believe or what we doubt about what we're seeing. I think that was a great way to start out with engaging everyone. And it was also a very well-structured speech. You had specific pieces that you broke down in the slides, and starting with how we experience deepfakes was a smart way to start. Good on-ramp for everyone, and then why it's an important concern, and then going more and more detailed into what is the process of creating them, what are the challenges and solutions. Third, I also like that you took a holistic view, not just talking about the challenges and what's being done about deepfakes, but also what are the positives of this technology. And I think that kind of balanced perspective is really important, especially for this topic. And you wrapped it up with what are our responsibilities in this area. So really great conclusion. A couple things to work on. I think that I'm familiar with deepfakes, so you really gave a good intro to them, but showing the pictures was helpful, but it really made me want to see one. I think you could show a short clip to get that like exact feeling across. So that's something you might want to consider adding, and expanding the part of your speech, especially where you mentioned one of the danger of deepfakes is that we won't believe the true videos, which new concept to me, but so powerful. And I think you could dig a little deeper into that and really drive the point home. And then one thing to challenge yourself, speaking in a hybrid environment where you have a laptop in front of you. And I think to expand on the eye contact in the audience in front of you, as well as online, and also maybe bookending your speech with, you did the audience engagement at the beginning, doing another hand raise or something at the end that engages everyone. So excellent speech. Thank you, Mahan.
Thank you, Patrice. Thank you for the wonderful evaluation. It was very specific. And coming up next is our counter. John, you're here.
Okay, for today's speaking, talk about a role that could be replaced by AI. Is the A and R counter, and maybe delete some of these that we saw or we heard today. So over 5 and ahs were heard from Mahan, Muskan, Patrice, and Atul and Nishant. Under 5 us were from Vijaya. Well, there's 2 already for me. Subbu and Shubchatri. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. And there was a variation of different components used. Like, for example, let's say so was a popular one as well, but used by Chantu and Shubchatri, and was also heard a lot with Muskan, Patrice, and a lot of false starts, like, for example, myself, what I'm doing. It's funny how I'm illustrating those, but false starts is from Mahan. I saw 3. Vijaya, there was 2, and 1 from Shubchatri. So additional details are in the spreadsheet if you'd like to review them. Thank you.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you so much. Let's call for a quick and crisp evaluation. a report from the timer, Nadine. Nadine.
Hello, everyone. So the timing today for the news for Mahan was 3 minutes and 4 seconds. After that, for the company profile by Shantanu, 2 minutes and 25. For the presentation for Shannon was 45 seconds. For Shannon's speech, 6 minutes and 11 seconds. For the presentation done by Patrice was 35 seconds. For the speech from Mahan was 5 minutes and 15 seconds. During the table topics for the bias, Shambashre, and I apologize for the name, 1 minute and 26 seconds. For Atul, 2 minutes and 21. For Sabu, 2 minutes and 24. And for Nishan, 1 minute and 30 seconds. The evaluation from Bijay, 2 minutes and 38 seconds. And Patrice was 2 minutes and 42 seconds. And Juan was 1 minute and 44 seconds.
Thank you, Nadine. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a tough job to really pronounce those names. I get it. So coming to my evaluation for today's meeting, the meeting started on time. Humans aren't punctual, but this club seems to be an exception. Now, the presiding officer did a great job next time with introducing the key functionaries at the start, like the grammarian or the accountant or the timer. I'm sure it would be a great job. Now, I love the exciting news, AI news by Mahan. Now, but we need coffee in the house, buddies. All of you have a cup of coffee before you come to the meeting. We need more energy. Now, I'm going to use that coupon code, which our friend, the company profiler, 15% discount at Numata AI. Job well done, mate. So what I'll take away from today's speech by Sheena is that we are all at this cusp of this global AI digital transformation, and we all need to rise to it. There is one takeaway. Now, vocal variety is the golden key which you're looking for, Sheena. Right now, you have aced almost all the aspects of the speech process. You add on that element to it, it would be awesome. Now, I loved all the awesomeness of the presentations by Sheena and Mahan. Deep stakes are real, and I came to know from Mahan today. And Mahan, presentation well done today. Like as the evaluator said, just a few demonstration of that, and it should be good. Now, Mahan and projectors are like technical enemies. Make friends with projectors, Mahan. Right? Now, table topics were relevant. They were on the theme of today's meeting. Job well done there. And I would remember one thing, what Shubhashri said, that systemic bias and data bias extends our own personal bias, and suggested that an inclusion committee should be considered by the decision makers. This is one takeaway. And uplifting and specific evaluations by Vijay and Patrice. And I love how one identified his own mistakes while doing the role of the actor. Overall, I think the timer did a fantastic job as well. Good meeting. Over to you, presiding officer.
Thank you so much, Noor. Noor, I forgot to mention we had a grammarian. So, Apala, can you give your grammarian's report?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, come here. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Apala, and I'm going to be the grammarian for today. So, first, let me start with the Toastmaster, which is Abhijit right here. And his way of communicating or opening the speech was nice. I guess it is untold word today that instead of using the word hallucination, which is closely related with bias, we are using the word bias. So, yeah, so I like that thing. And second one goes to Mahan. Mahan used one various and then varies. So I think in his speech where he was probably meaning various. Yeah. So other than that, I think his speech was flowing well without any ear-raking sentence. Yeah. So he could speak fluently and nicely, in other words. Shantanu, nice, short sentence, very clear tone, but used understand twice in one sentence. However, a lot of conjunctions of and, but that I also do a lot of times. I guess speakers who are speaking, they do it. Yeah. Sheena, good word choice, apprehensive. I like it. The text editing also was a good word choice. However, I have a question for that. The text editing that you said, and all those text editing, is it like online or you can use it? You can only use that for recorded speech, like when you're recording?
Yeah, it's after recording. This is for editing.
So it is not like while speaking.
Yeah, it's not, but probably we'll have some conference updates for that.
So it was interesting to know that. And also your details about 90% sales marketing used AI in their app. I like that. It gave a clear idea how much they use it and how much they don't use it. Mahan, I think it is again you. So for prepares. So deep fake, nice topic. I am myself interested in deep fake. So you are saying that I can make myself look like the celeb that I want to.
You can do that. Yes.
Yeah, so I guess I'm going on here and I would just brief myself since time is ticking here. Overall, all of you did a very good job. I did not hear any ear-wrecking words or sentences. Good vocab choice of bias. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go forward with our guest feedback. We have many guests. Atul, how was your experience, Atul?
I think it was a great first experience. It was nice meeting everyone, and I think a lot of the topics were very interesting. I also like the pixel to the speech that I think Sheena gave. I thought that was a very beautiful speech. Also Mahan, also great speech too. I learned a lot from him. I think it was very engaging. I really liked it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Atul. Great to have you. Jim, how was your experience, Jim?
This Jim?
Yes, Jim Ward.
Oh, I think very good. I've been trying to get into these, and hopefully I'll have some time where I can block out to do a thing in the future. I definitely intend to call in, and it's a very new technology. My type of work, I tend to be looking for problems and issues and things, but it's important to see other people's viewpoints and how you can turn something to be the best possibility. So really excited to learn more and to hopefully participate more in the future.
Perfect. Well, great to learn from you, Jim. Looking forward to that. Winnie, how was your experience, Winnie?
I enjoyed the speeches. They were very well done and very informative, as well as the table topics. I wouldn't have known the answer to the last question that was asked, the bias and how you would ensure the AI during the human resource selection or during the recruiting. But I'm glad I got to learn about that. Thank you very much.
Great to have you, Winnie. Julie, how was your experience, Julie?
Hi, yes. So from a non-tech person listening to a very technical meeting for Toastmasters, it was very eye-opening. And I just like to learn new things, and I wasn't confident to answer any of the table topics. So, but my thought was, if you did, I think systems are probably less biased than humans. So I was thinking, if you would collect a bunch of information about candidates, including their age and gender and whatever not, a system wouldn't know what to be biased about if you just tell the system, just look for someone who has this skill set in this programming language. I would think in order not to introduce any bias, you just just give a very straightforward formula, and then they will just disregard everything. But that's just maybe me, you don't complicate things, and then that's where you don't get bias. So, but I really enjoyed everyone's speech, and and so many people attending, so you can see how popular AI is. So I don't mind if I can still continue to just listen in, and yeah, and thanks a lot for inviting me, Abhijit. Yeah.
Great to have you, Julie. Nishant, how was your experience, Nishant?
I think it was a great experience. I've been trying to attend one of the sessions since 2-3 weeks, but I'm glad I finally did today. And it's quite informative and I think high level, and especially the news section and what's happening in AI at latest. So yeah, I enjoyed it. And at the same time, you can practice the Toastmaster skills. So yeah, that's good.
Perfect. Great to have you, Nishant. Smita, how was it for you? Smita? Subbu, how was it for you?
Good. Overall, it is a good experience. It's a new thing for me. So getting started is one step closer to success.
Perfect. Great.
Also, can I add one more thing about him? Yeah. So your speech, I found it really funny when you said, I mean, it may not be funny to everyone, but I found it funny when you said, like, I like how you say, those who are not qualified, they should be like not even taken their viewpoint into consideration.
Obviously, in the tech field,
yeah.
Even.
Thank you so much, everyone. Our meeting will be again next week, same time, 12 o'clock. We'll be using the same link. So come and join us. You can come in person or you can come on Zoom. Thank you so much, everyone. If you have any questions, please ask. This meeting is adjourned.
And come tomorrow to the district hybrid event. I just put the registration in the chat.
This echo was intentional.
We want to emphasize it.
Any questions from
You're on mute, Abhijit. Like, I think the main.
Bottom left is on mute.
Yeah, both of them went on mute, I think. Earlier it was echoing.
Is it better now? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone. Any questions, please do ask. The meeting is adjourned. We'll see you again next week, same time, on Zoom or in person.
Yep,
Can I
one question to all.
Go ahead.
Yeah, one question to all. What do you want to see in the next meetings, all of you? So what do you want to take away? What do you want from this club? So what do you want from us? Anyone has any ideas? What do you want from this AI club?
Yeah, go on, man. Come.
So being in creative industry for a long time, the overlap between creative industry and marketing, we have always been curious about the latest advancement in technology because it impacts especially creative industry in a very deep level. So my intention is being here is to learn from experts and professionals that I meet here and then the people who are on the screen. Every single comment or sentence I listen, for me, is educational. I would love to learn and digest this information and apply it to my own profession. That's my intention. Thank you.
And Noor, I want to say.
Yep.
Since we have a diverse group of people, next week I'll be speaking. So I will be talking more about personal usage. For example, Alexa is my friend. What is the AI technology used in Alexa? So it's good that, we have a mix of diverse background here, and they all bring in how AI is impacting their lives. And bring more curiosity. So now we start learning more about what's behind it and how we can contribute to making it better. So that's exactly my thoughts.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Any students in the house? Do we have any
Yes,
students?
student?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what my so when
Your takeaway, so why you
I'm here. Yeah. I am here because I want to, since I studied from natural language processing, I did my master's in it from UCSC. And so I want to know more about this field in industry perspective way. So I really like, and also I want to meet more people in this field, in this area, and I feel this is a good forum for me to build, relations with those people who are in this AI field. Get to know about them. Yeah.
Nishant was thinking deeply. Nishant, what are you
Yeah,
thinking?
NLP is pretty big.
Atul
And
also.
I was thinking about my own master's program.
Yeah, I'm
Fellas, what do
currently
you
an
want to take away from this club? What is that thing which you're looking to take away?
I just